I'm going to show you how to calibrate an analog foot pedal using the AirTurn Manager app. I'm using an Ernie Ball VP Jr pedal, but you can use just about any analog musician's pedal on the market. Hi, I'm Ben, the creator of the FluidPrompter Teleprompter app. As you might guess, FluidPrompter got the fluid part of its name from the analog foot pedal idea. I started making YouTube videos at home by myself and wanted a hands-free way to control my teleprompter while I'm on camera. The foot pedal allows you to continuously adjust the scrolling speed of your prompter, kind of like an accelerator pedal in a car. It's so natural you don't really think about it, which makes you look better on camera. I've forged a partnership with AirTurn to make controlling a teleprompter hands-free easy. AirTurn has had an analog foot pedal product for some time, designed for musicians, called the BT500 S6. This is a typical guitar stomper pedal with two analog ports on the back to attach analog pedals. But we've also taken the guts of the AirTurn S6 pedal and stuffed it into a much smaller box without the stomp switches, specifically for teleprompter control. But the calibration procedure will be the same for either version of AirTurn pedal. Okay, grab your AirTurn device and analog pedal, and let's get started with calibration. You're also going to need the AirTurn Manager app installed on a phone or tablet. First, let's open the AirTurn Manager app. Turn on your AirTurn foot pedal. The pedal should show up in the list at the top left, labeled AirDirect AirTurns. If your pedal does not show up here, then make sure it isn't already paired to another device in the area. When you tap the AirTurn device you want to calibrate, the app will pair with the device using Bluetooth. There is a bunch of options here to check for software updates, adjust power off timeout, and more. But we're going to focus on the analog calibration tool. Click Analog Calibration to continue. Before we begin calibration, you can see how the pedal is working with the current calibration by moving the pedal and watching the position indicator in the app. Out of the box, the pedal might not move the full width of the position indicator, or might overshoot the width of the indicator with a bunch of dead space on either end of the pedal's range of motion where the indicator doesn't move. We're going to fix that now by calibrating the device. Start with the pedal in the neutral position or heel down position and click Recalibrate. The AirTurn Manager app will ask what kind of analog device you are using. We're going to choose Control with no center point. Example, foot pedal. The app will ask you to move the pedal to the maximum position. I like to do this on a tabletop and not on the floor with my foot. Using your hand, gently press the pedal to the maximum position without putting a lot of weight on the pedal. The app will notice this change in position, save the maximum value, and then move to the next step. The app will then ask you to move the pedal to the minimum position. Again on a tabletop, using your hands, gently push the pedal back to the minimum position without applying too much pressure on the pedal. The app will notice, save the minimum position, and move to the next step. The reason we use our hands to calibrate the pedal with a moderate level of force is because of these small rubber bump stops in the pedal that compress under weight. During calibration, I don't want to compress these little rubber bump stops. But during real use, the weight of my leg and foot will be more than the force I applied with my hands and compress those rubber bump stops ever so slightly, going just a tiny fraction beyond the range of motion we calibrated. This is desirable so the pedal has a repeatable end position over time. Don't worry, if you get it wrong, you can just start over the calibration again as you learn what you like for your specific pedal type. Alright, you should now be on the logarithmic calibration screen. For most analog pedals that you buy from a music shop, the little sensor inside, called a potentiometer, doesn't output a linear signal for its full range of motion. Instead, it's an audio potentiometer, which has a logarithmic output. We'd rather have a linear output for controlling a teleprompter scrolling speed, and not this logarithmic signal. This screen allows us to fix that. With your pedal on the tabletop again, move the pedal through its range of motion and watch the position indicator on the app. You'll notice near the minimum position it moves more slowly, and near the maximum position it moves more quickly. So we are going to click yes, the indicator does move faster towards one end. On this screen, you're going to try and find the midpoint where the pedal switches from moving slowly to moving quickly. Once you've found the pedal position where you think the speed is changing, click Continue. Note, this is an estimation. There isn't really an exact point on an analog curve, just do your best. On the last screen, you want to move the pedal to its physical midpoint using your hands. This may or may not be the same as the position where the speed was changing. Once you've adjusted the pedal to its physical midpoint, click Continue. The AirTurn Manager app will tell you what settings it's learned during calibration by outputting a number for logarithmic factor and adjust midpoint. These numbers will never be the same for two different pedals. That's just the nature of analog devices. But you can write these down as well as tweak them ever so slightly if you think you were a little off. Again, you've got a pedal position indicator on the app here, so you can test it out and check that moving your pedal through its range of motion is in fact reflected on the screen with the full range of motion and a relatively linear response. If it all looks good here, you can scroll down and hit the Done button to save your calibration changes. Calibration is now complete, and we can disconnect the pedal by clicking the back button in the upper left of the AirTurn Manager app until we get back to the home screen. Your analog pedal is now ready for hands-free teleprompter control. If you find these kind of practical how-to videos helpful, please hit that like button so I know it's worth it to make more of them. And if you want to learn more about using teleprompters for making videos, then hit subscribe. That's it for this one. Bye-bye for now.